We're back. Cowboys and Coffee is ready to rock and roll another week, another day, another dollar, another coffee, right, D? So everything's good. How's your day going so far? Um,
Listen, I'm recovering from a little day to day. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm like, I feel like the guy from the Yankees. What's his name? Stanton. What's the guy who always
Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Has he played that all this year?
I don't know. I don't think so, but watching him round third base last year was the most
Yeah,
unsightly thing
he ain't
I've
even
ever
on the
seen.
base this year. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's what I feel like. Go ahead,
Yeah.
let's
Well,
go.
listen, Cowboys are about to get moving, right? We're past the draft. We're into that second wave of free agency. Undrafted free agents have already made their way in. And it's nice to see Caleb Downs in a Cowboys uniform, even though we should change his number. But that's neither here nor there. We're starting off this week looking at the Cowboys roster, looking where we're going forward. The question is, which players should be looking back? Which players could have their job taken by someone behind them on the depth chart? Whether that's first string or second string, losing a spot to someone behind them. Do you have someone who can start right away who you think this person's going to take real snaps this year?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go out there right now. I like the Penn State tackle.
Really, Drew Shelton. You think he's going to work in the right tackle for Steele or left tackle for Guyton?
He could play either one. That's the option you got in him. That's
You're breaking up a little bit, but I
they won't be afraid to make that move and stuff
yeah,
like that. Wide receivers. Um, I like his frame. I like his athletic. He got light feet. Um, Listen, when you get into camp, Guyton, you'll know right away, and Steele, you know right away. One of those guys is not guaranteed. That's all I'm saying.
Guyan is the key to this season. If he comes forward and takes a step ahead, then the reality is we're going to be looking at a top five offensive line in the league. We could be with Booker and BB and Tyler Smith in the middle. If Guyton takes a step ahead, we're still looking at a top five unit. If Guyton and Steele are still so-so or average this year, then we're still looking at a top 10 to 15 unit, which is acceptable. And we know what they did last year. But this year's got to be different than last year. Last year was a lot of Dak making the most out of his pocket presence, which I thought was exceptional. But this year, you can only get away with that for so long. Defenders get after you, and then things change. So I like where you're at with Drew Shelton. We're gonna have to see a real jump from him. That would be surprising if he took some snaps. I seem to think that Trigg is going to be the tight end of the future for the Cowboys, and I think Luke Schoonmaker's off the roster before the end of training camp. I may have said this before. I'm going to trade Luke Schoonmaker for a running back on the Cardinals, whether that's James Conner or Trey Benson. I'll send him there because they're not walking into the season with four running backs like that. So give him a tight end, a blocking tight end, which has value right now. Trigg and Brevin Spanford are the backups for Jake Ferguson. I think Ferguson's still fine for now, but Spanford and Trigg, I think those are the guys who I would say are jumping Luke Schoonmaker on the offensive side of the ball. What do you think about that?
Well, I hope that's true. And again, once you get in there and the shoulder pads come on and they get hitting, that's the difference of the game. Uh, Look, we know the Tyner Ferguson gets his yards per catch was not even 10 yards, son.
Right.
Not even, I think it was 9.8. So I'll give you 10, but I'm not giving it to you. At 9.8, I'm sorry, a tight end, sorry. Basically, he caught the ball and that was it. After the
Yeah.
catch there's no after the catch at 9.8.
Yeah, we really have to. He has to have a bounce back year. I don't think he had a bad year, but I think he really had an underwhelming year, in my opinion, if that makes sense. Like, it didn't feel like a good Jake Ferguson year. It felt passable. And with the offense as explosive as it is, you would expect it to open up more. Now, there were a lot of times where Dak hit him on seam routes that he didn't seem to pull the ball in, which is why someone like Trigg could thrive in this offense in the seam with Dak throwing in the ball. Dak can fit the ball in that high seam pass about as well as anyone in the league. Can the guys catch it is the $1 million question. I want to go to the defensive side of the ball. I want to look who there is looking over their shoulder and is going to be fighting for a roster spot or perhaps someone behind them. I look at Shamar James, who's right now the inside linebackers are overshown in Shamar James. Is D Winters going to slide into that starting spot? Right now he's listed as a backup. Is Jayshawn Barham going to eventually slide into one of those starting spots there? I think it's possible. Siobhan Ravel is still a starting corner with Deron Bland. Are those the two guys, or is Kobe Durant going to slide up and take one of those starting spots? Where are you in the defensive side of the ball?
I think it's a toss up across the board. I got to pick somebody. I think with the new scheme coming in here, I think all these players are interchangeable. Again, our corners, 2 out of 3 have been hurt on and off the last few years. One is an all pro, been all pro, and you hope you want to get him back on track to run the next. I know sounds silly, next 4 or 5 years, and get a couple of pros out of him. And Bland's attitude, you love his attitude. On the other side, it's open to debate on who's going to be in there, but they got competition in there fighting for these positions on every position on the field, D line linebackers and safeties. Now, who's guaranteed to be on that field? There's only one. That's number 13.
Yeah, yeah, for
18?
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
16, 18, 13. I still think he's going
Yeah.
to get number two from Durant. That's what I think. But, we know Caleb Downs is going to be the star of the defense, which is crazy considering that Quinn Williams is still there, and Overshown could be there. And we'll see. I really like what like you said, the interchangeability of the defense, and also I think their depth now. They actually have players who can play. I like PJ Locke as a backup safety because he play well on special teams, and he can. Now you have Jalen Thompson, Malik Hooker, Caleb Downs, PJ Locke. Reddy Stewart, Kobe Durant, Deron Bland, Kalen Carson, Siobhan Ravel. Like these are guys who they'll be able to step up. I like Zion Childress to come in. I like Josh Butler. I like these guys being able to do things. So let's see. It's going to be a fight in camp, and that's what I want to see. I want to see a fight in camp, not physically fighting. I want these guys, excuse me, to battle
No,
for
no,
their
no, no.
roster spot.
I'll take the physically fighting. Fine, fine. Give me some of that. But let me give you a little observation on the characters versus the head coach. I'm going to go back to Jimmy Johnson's era. Those players were hit.
You're breaking up a little bit. Those players, I got you. I might still catch up in a
Those
second.
players on that field was Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So we have these players that are going to come in and they have some character to them. And quietly, this head coach is very competitive. And
Yes.
I don't know if you want to get a trash talking team, but you're going to get a team that's going to execute the game plan. You've seen it on our offensive side of the ball, how the assistant coaches are all business, not about the hype, about the execution, doing your job.
Right, right. And if you're not going to do your job, I have no doubt they'll move on from you. Bye bye, Mr. Diggs. We saw last year, who again is still unsigned. Still unsigned. I don't think he has anything left in the tank. Nothing that would be of value at the moment. And then if you're going to be if you're not going to be a top two or slot corner at this point, and you're not going to play special teams, there's no value in picking you up. You know what I mean? There's no value for a team to sign someone if you're not playing special teams and you're a down the roster guy. I think it's something that hurts someone like Odell Beckham too, right? I've talked about, oh, is he going to play for this team or that team? If you're not a top three receiver on the roster and you're not playing special teams, you're not going to be signed. That's it. You can't play special teams. You can't cover a kick. You can't punt return, kick return. There's no spot for you. Even today, the Broncos released Deuce Vaughn and moved on from him, who's a fun little story, but I don't know
Yeah,
that he's an NFL running back. So for the
right.
defense, our buddy Connor Live say posted this today, and I want your thoughts on it. Start one, bench one, cut one, all on the defensive side of the ball. Start one, bench one, cut one. Maris Leofau, Kalen Carson, and Jay Toya. Jay Toya, the nose tackle, Kalen Carson, the corner, Maris Leofau, the linebacker. But I think they have him at edge right now. But actually, the roster officially has him as inside linebacker where he's supposed to be, but they said they're going to try him a little bit at edge as well. So start one, bench one, cut one. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to. I would have to Carson. I would have to cut him.
Really?
Yeah, I have to cut him. Yeah, he's this is what his third year.
Yeah.
This is third year. Well, the reason why you have a lot of depth there at that corner, I would do that. Yeah,
Okay. I respect that. So would you start
yeah.
or bench? Who do you start and who do you bench between Jay Toya and Maris Leofau?
Well, what happens is this: you're dealing with three different positions. They're all different positions. Jay Toya is a big guy, big body up there front, and the other guy plays the outside linebacker and gets some playing time. I think Jay Toya, I would play him a little bit more.
Yeah. I to me, Jay Toya fits a very specific role for this
Right,
defense. Tito Agbania, that I think is a guy, he's your day one starter nose tackle. So I have no problem benching Jay Toya right there, like not getting rid of him because there's not really much depth on that spot behind.
right, right.
And I do think behind their front three, right, Quinnen, Otito, and Kenny Clark, I think they're a little light. Who do they have depth behind those guys? Certainly those guys are big and strong and physical, but who comes in after them? That's a spot I think the Cowboys could look at in these next few days and weeks, rather as
It's a long season. It's a
right, a
long
long
season.
season. And if one of it,
It's a long season.
one gets banged up and one misses a series, you're running really light. You know what I mean? One misses a game, and then in the game someone else is out a series or two. It's going to be a rough series or two. So that's a spot I think they could address. So I'm going to keep Jay Toya on the bench. I could probably get away with starting Leofau because I think Zimmer liked him for his brains and he can hit. I think he might be a better fit with this defensive scheme and this coaching staff. If anyone can get out of him, it's him. And I'd probably cut Kelly Clarkson. I'd cut her too, and Kalen
Yeah,
Carson.
yeah,
Not that I don't think he's
yeah.
talented. I just think you make a great point with there's depth there at the position where between Stewart and Kobe Durant and Rebel Jr. And Duran Bland, like if he's gone, I'm not missing anything per se. It's worth looking at the Cowboys quarterback spot as well. Here's why. Backup is Joe Milton III and then Sam Howell, who I think is a backup journeyman, but so is Joe Milton. The difference is Joe Milton has a cannon for an arm. Here's the thing. Dak
Blah, blah,
Prescott,
blah, blah.
you hear me? Can you hear me? That's all right. We're going to still keep going. Listen, Dak Prescott is the fifth oldest quarterback in the league. Aaron Rodgers is 43.
Now I can hear you. Yeah, lost you for a
Okay,
minute.
all right,
Yeah,
all right. Stick with me. Aaron Rodgers is
yeah.
43. Matthew Stafford's 38. Geno is 36. Jacoby is 34. And Dak is 33. In 2 to 3 years, Dak's going to be the oldest quarterback in the NFL,
Wow, that's crazy, huh?
which is aging me like the end of Saving Private Ryan. It's unbelievable. So,
What?
yes, I mean, think in 2 years, this is probably Aaron Rodgers last year. Give me 2 years for Matthew Stafford. I don't know if Geno plays much more than, I don't know if he has anything in the tank or anyone will sign him.
Right.
And the same with Jacoby Brissett, 2 years. Dak would be 35 and the oldest quarterback in the NFL, which is sickening. Like it seems like it just got there, and now we're talking about the oldest quarterback in the NFL.
It's crazy, huh?
And they'll play another 5 years as long as his health comes around. I guess stays as long as they can keep him upright. Um, Joe
Well,
Milton,
listen,
go ahead.
I mean, listen, I'm 66. I can still shoot a three. So he's 35 and can throw a football. That's all.
And the way they
He ain't
protect
playing defense. I don't play defense. So he won't play defense. Get in there, throw to get in there. That's
the
all.
way they protect quarterbacks now, right? You see these guys can play. Certainly, Matthew Stafford play forever, and he's had the absolute snot beat out of him. What they did to him in
Oh
Detroit was criminal. Oh my gosh.
yeah, yeah.
So Joe Milton or Sam Howell with this offense, and again, we're going to see the schedule come out in the next couple of days or so, the full schedule. Joe Milton or Sam Howell, let's say they start 3 games. Can you expect either one of them to go 2-1 in those games? Because we've seen Cooper Rush in the last couple of years come in and play well and win games for the Cowboys. Do you think right now Milton or Howell would have enough to go? 3-0 is asking a lot. What about 2-1?
Well, how has more NFL starting position play? The other guy, he has an arm. There's no doubt about it. Has he developed behind? And you can study your opponent, and that's the key. Has he studied? But one has played a little bit more. I like Howell a little bit more because of experience out there, and I think I would lean towards him to go to 2-1. Um, Big strong arm guys hold the ball. That's the guilt of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I say this every year about Joe Milton. He's so physically gifted. If you want him to throw a 70-yard bomb, he'll throw you a 70-yard bomb. And he's also so physically gifted that if you want him to throw a 6-yard curl, he'll throw you a 70-yard bomb. So,
Right.
but I think as they tried last year, I think they're going to do the same this year. Dak doesn't need a lot to get up to speed. So Joe Milton's going to play a lot this preseason. I would expect him to play the majority of the preseason snaps in their 3 games and get up to speed. We were talking about this before. We talked about this the other day together. In the preseason last year, the Cowboys scrimmaged the Rams, and we saw multiple games where wide receivers were wide open, right? Those guys were just running free. Devontae Adams is just running free. And it was so indicative of what happened in the regular season. People were like, is this going to happen for real? I'm like, no, no, they're just figuring stuff out.
Right.
What do you expect to see from this defense in the preseason?
That's a great question. That's a great question of what they're going to learn on paper. Are they going to put it in the preseason games? And how many games are there? Three?
Right.
There's three. One is, I think, one they play the second to the last game. They play pretty decent 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Um, I think they'll have to start some guys on that preseason second to last, and kind of you're going to have to see something out of that play calling or where these guys are going to do on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a lot. I'm excited for the preseason because there's guys who are going to have to show us something. And defensively, I want to see them get it. Because the last couple of years, they haven't got it, and it's been so obvious that they haven't got it. I'm not asking for, the early 2000 Bucks or Ravens here, but what we need to see is that it doesn't look like a horror show for Cowboys fans again. I can't have another preseason scrimmage where friends are messaging me all the time like this again. They're like, who are you telling this again? I've had to watch this show, how many times? It's ridiculous. So, yes, this again, but I really need this preseason. These games, some of these scrimmages, they're going to have fights, whatever they fight. I don't care. I need to see a little more competence before the season starts because you can't have 2, 3, 4 games to figure it out. It's got to be figured it out. They have to figure it out by game one.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the way the NFL schedule is now, because I know one of the games, preseason games that the Cowboys are going to play is going to be on Mars. They're going to play on a Tuesday afternoon on Mars. That's pretty much it's a 2 o'clock game on the Red Giant Stadium. Yep. Mm-hmm.
They're watering down the product, which is it's now they're going to have a Wednesday night game before Thanksgiving too. It's just too much, and I'm not going to be watching because I'm going to be doing other things, and that's the way it goes. Oh, every single week there's a preseason game. Great. I'm going to wake up at 8 a.m. and be watching before Sunday service. Like, come on, guys. Roger Goodell has never cared about fans. He cares about money, which so be it. That's his job. But the idea that they care about fans is just insane. But what I do want to swing back to week one because we're talking about it. Malik Neighbors underwent a second surgery on his knee a couple weeks ago um,
Really?
to
A
clean up
second one?
scar tissue that was
Is
causing
that
stiffness.
normal? Is that
It's
normal?
I don't think it is, right? His ACL meniscus surgery was back October 28th. So, this is kind of late to clean that stuff up. If you saw him the night of the draft, now you watched him in the video when the Cowboys picked Caleb Downs. It seemed difficult for him to stand up and move around on that leg. It seemed like it was obvious.
I thought it was just me. I just thought it was me. I thought of it. It came through my mind. It really shot through my mind. I'm like, oh no, no, you're just trying to, yeah, yeah. He's got off the couch like me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
He got off the couch like
surprised.
me.
I'm
I'm telling
surprised
you.
that it's gonna be if the Giants don't have him offensively week one, it's going to be very difficult for them to beat the Cowboys because it's going to be difficult for them to keep up with the Cowboys score. What do they do? If they don't have Cam Scattybo and they don't have Malik Neighbors, it's not going to be an easy run. It's not, and the Cowboys won't make it easy on them. Remember a couple years ago we were there, the Cowboys being 40-0. So
Yeah, and the thing is with him off the field, the third down catch in the end zone inside the 20 or so, you're taking away statistically a downgrade in that area. And he had a great first year, there's no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? But then you go into his second year, right? No, third year, right? This will be his third year. His third year already. That sounds
yeah,
crazy. And starting out slow. It takes a year to recover from this. A year to recover from it. And you're not going to get on that field full steam, full speed on that knee right away. So he's going to be playing at 70% of his ability. I like his body. The joke, his body is incredible. His frame, his
yeah,
face, his whole body is incredible. Um, I don't trust his character though. They have to worry about that. We
sure.
got Pickens.
The big, you're right. We've got our own problems. The issue with Malik Neighbors,
Pickens all pro. Pickens is all
right,
pro.
right,
Yeah.
right. I think the thing with me for Neighbors is he would be coming back week one at MetLife on that field. It's listen, there's there's a lot of smoke, there's a lot of fire coming out of the injuries from that field. And if he wants to come back week one, still not 100% on that field, that's a dangerous game to play for the Giants. And Harbaugh might not be in a great position. Like they might have to come out hot. We'll see the schedule tomorrow, but you lose to Dallas week one, you're back in the same rut you've been in the whole time against the Cowboys. What happens then? They come out and Malik Neighbors goes down. Your whole season is going to be upside down. Let's see the Giants depth chart, which is why I thought wide receiver was a position of need for them going into the season. Malik Neighbors is one,
Oh, absolutely.
Darius Slayton is two, Darnell Mooney at three, and then you have like Calvin Austin, Malachi Fields, Isaiah Hodgins. Isaiah Hodgins isn't terrible, but like the ability to get wide receivers, would I have picked a wide receiver? They pick Arvell Reese. You can't blame them for picking Arvell Reese. Would you have picked a wide receiver instead of picking Maui Noah at your right guard position? I'm intrigued. What would have happened if they had done it differently? So they take Maui Noah at that's round two. They take Maui Noah at 10. What wide receivers are still on the board there? Makai Lemon, there is still there at 10. Do you take Lemon? Do you trade down and take Lemon? Like what happens? Well, they traded, they kept the pick. Perhaps a wide receiver would have been more valuable. Too little, too late now. But if Neighbors doesn't play, they're going to be in a rough spot as far as the receiving core against perhaps an improved defense. And again, if the Cowboys are even moderately improved, they're going to be devilish to beat on a week in, week out basis.
Well, here's what happens with when when receivers don't get open. You hold the ball and you run. Is that what you're wanting your quarterback to do?
Yeah.
Hold the ball and run. You don't want your whole. You don't want your quarterback to do that. Hold the ball and run. Mm-mm. Not that guy. I'm sorry. He already has a history of it. The poor guy got a head concussion already.
Right.
So that's the problem with that. And the guard coming in playing guard, I'm sure he's going to do fine. You know what I mean? Is he a is he? He's not Zach Martin, okay, or Nelson. He's not that. I would never drafted that guy. They needed help on defense. They got no help. You just on paper, you even though you had a bad year, you lost your all pro tackle, still all pro. I think he shot. I think the money got his head, but that's besides the point. I would have drafted Downs and whatchamacall of what the Redskins got. I would have drafted on this, but they lost. Robinson was a clutch little receiver.
Yes. Yeah, and
Yeah,
he got paid. Listen, the
yeah.
thing with Maui Noah is he is already managing a herniated disc in his back, right? They know he has it. If it flares up, it's at least a 3 month recovery, right? We're talking at least 12 games.
Is it back or neck? I think it's
The
his neck,
neck,
isn't it?
it's his neck, like back area, right?
Okay,
Herniated
yeah.
disc, like that's not a problem, right? Could it be nothing? It could be. It could be. But you know that it's already a red flag, and it
Yeah,
could
it's it,
be
it's
could be
it's
something.
scary. Yeah, to me it's scary. And by the way, talking about draft not doing the homework. Bo Nix, remember that ankle was not registered. They didn't know about the ankle. Ooh boy, right?
Yeah, I'd be really interested what happens with that. Whether they what like his ankle's in rough shape right now, man. That thing is busted up. Is he going to come back to the player he was? So what are you saying about his ankle? I'm sorry. What are you trying to say?
Well, because that was not disclosed that he had a history of a bad ankle.
Interesting.
Right. I'm like 90% sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
what
But
is gonna the Broncos are in a tough spot because they seem to think Bo Nix is the guy and they have like perhaps the best defense in the NFL and like can they get by with him playing okay? Can he play all right football? Do they beat the Patriots last year if he's healthy? I think without question they beat the Patriots if he's healthy last year, and it would have been a much better Super Bowl than the Patriots, who will come back to earth this year, who may not even have the same head coach this year, the way that they're trending, way everything come
it's bad
back. So
mojo up there. It's bad mojo up there. It
yeah,
really is.
we just keep
Yeah.
hearing again and again and again more stuff, and eventually it becomes such a. And you know what bothers me is all the guys who come out in support of him, like he's such a good guy, such a good man. Like you're not, nothing happened to him. He was cheating on his wife for years, guys. Please stop defending him like he broke his leg and he's on the mend. Like this guy's a villain, right? He's a bad person, which again, you could be a bad person. You're still not even the worst person in the front office for the last 20 years. You might not even make a top five. So who knows? But
It,
I
yeah, it's look to discuss immorality on professional teams. Forget it. You know what I mean? They're not priests. They're not monks. They're all and but when you're coaching staff, it's a different tone to it, and it's bad mojo. That's what it is. That stuff lingers in the locker room. None of the guys are going, "Oh, he's a jerk," for doing that. None of the guys are going to say that because that's the way it is. You making money, you're a player, and some of them are good Christian men and Christian women. Don't get me wrong. There's families like that, but it's just a bad scene throughout the organization. It really is.
it's
Yeah,
usually frowned upon that stuff, and there are unspoken, at least not public rules on how these things should happen. We know within the Cowboys organization things have happened where front offices has stepped into certain players to say, hey, knock it off. To media members, to coach players, to whatever it is, they've stepped in and said, this enough is enough. Uh, what I still think that it went beyond just an affair. It's more like she was voting for him for coach of the year. She was personally like pulling down the trade value of certain players like Julio Jones so that the Titans could trade for him or other things happen. which I think is despicable. It's like she should never be able to work in the field again. And the Patriots should be fined, if not docked a pick, and he should be suspended because it violates the integrity of the game. I'm not suggesting every coach has to be Tom Landry, right? I'm not suggesting every coach has to be Joe Gibbs, who are great men. Don't get
Right,
me wrong, but I
right.
am suggesting
Yep,
what they've done has crossed a boundary that goes beyond just being an immoral person, which we know plenty of players are immoral people. But you know what?
right.
Win me a Super Bowl and you could be an absolute horrible person off the field. I don't care. I don't care. But I think this crossed a
Yeah,
boundary to being from being immoral to beyond even unethical to being what's downright illegal in as far as a football team goes.
well, what you're saying is it involved football operations. It
Correct.
really did.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
So
And the same with the Michigan dude, a couple other guys. It was involved in the on these operations of having your little cell phone on the field and looking at fans only on the field. I mean, really, really, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Listen, we're winding down here. We got a few minutes left. Is there anything else you really want to talk about here before we move on to finish the episode?
Listen, I'm excited. I believe in on playing smart football and playing aggressive football, and, and that,
Oh, you're messing up here. I'm losing you here. You got to come back to me in just a second.
the Patriots won for years and go out there and stop. Yeah, am I here?
Okay,
What?
you're back. Come
Funny
on.
bunny.
Yep, I hear you. Go
All
ahead.
right,
Finish what you're going to say.
I'm saying playing. They're going to run the football, be physical up front, and play smart defense and get after. In this, it's the third down conversions. Are we going to be in the top five of saying stopping the third down conversions?
Sure.
Number
Troy.
one, number two, and converting them, and number five, and stopping them to being converted.
Sure.
Those are key statistics.
Troy Aikman was saying the other day, you maybe don't want the high offensive numbers they had last year because the defense will be better and you won't have to be in a shootout every single week to survive. You'll be able to manage the clock more, grind down on teams, which helps your team later in the year. Your receivers are fresh and really helps you build your team identity. So um, that is that's a good it's a good thing. Uh, for me, I'm excited to just see. I still can't believe we got Caleb Downs, right? We've been talking about it for so long, and the fact that he is a Dallas Cowboy and truly, I mean, unbelievable how transformative he can be. There were people also complaining about Steelers fans. Oh, the Cowboys traded with the Eagles. Why would they do that? They're going to be haunted by this. The Cowboys traded with the Eagles a few years ago, moved back a couple picks. They came up and got Devontae Smith, and the Cowboys got Micah Parsons. So it worked out for both teams just fine.
Right.
I'd still do the trade again if I was the Cowboys for Parsons and Devontae Smith, and I think I'd be fine with them getting Malachi Lawrence and getting the extra fourths and everything they did now, and moving on to whatever is next. But Caleb Downs is a Dallas Cowboy. We did it! Like I can't believe it. Can't believe it. He is going to be a star, whether they like it
There's
or
no way he
not.
was falling. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
I told you.
it
I
was
told you. Did I
stop.
not tell you? I told you he's going to fall to the Cowboys. I told you. I told you for
Yeah,
months.
yeah. Those top other teams went with the offensive players, and that's the rest is history. Yeah, that's what it was the key to it.
The rest,
Love, I think Love is the one pick that swung it around when
yeah,
he went with
absolutely.
Arizona.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, those guys are definitely, the Cardinals, the
because
Dolphins,
Downs draft on the draft boards was number one.
and a
Period.
lot of them. He's the best player. I don't care. I don't
Yeah,
care. I
yep.
will take him. I'll take him any day. And if he's a top three safety in the league, I won't be surprised, and I'll be happy as a clam. So, listen, before we go ahead, anything else you're gonna say?
Yeah, I was showing mommy the other night about Randy White that he was doing that karate stuff, judo, whatever is the karate, and he had a 400 psi kick. like some freak number, and he's old.
He's nuts.
Fellas,
He's psycho, man.
there was some. He was showing him kicking, and with some power behind it. I don't know what 400 psi, whatever it is.
All I know is I don't want to get kicked by it.
Some.
Yeah. Listen, let me end with a little coffee talk before for Cowboys and coffee. Are you there, D?
Sure.
You hanging in with me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let me end with a
I'm
little
here.
coffee talk.
Sure.
If you get a coffee and it's super
Yeah,
bitter, it sounds like it's been overcooked. It's too bitter. Rather than
yeah,
put sugar in it, you actually want to put a few granules of salt in it. Salt will actually take away the bitterness. Now, I'm not saying you want a teaspoon of salt like you would a
yeah,
teaspoon
yeah,
of
yeah.
sugar.
Yeah. I got
You
some
really
stuff
only
here.
want
Yeah,
like
yeah.
two,
Good.
3, 4 granules, depending on the size of the cup. This is small. I'd probably put 2 granules or three, literally, of
Yeah,
salt,
I got
and
some
it
like.
reduces the bitterness. Then, after that's melted up, throw your sugar in there and sweeten and do whatever you want to do. But if you drink it just black and it's super bitter, it's been on there too long, or it's passed,
Mhm.
just a few pieces of salt will absolutely save your coffee. And yeah, it can go from bitter to better real quick.
Cool. I got some coffee needs that.
Let's
Mhm.
go. Listen, D, I love you. Anybody
Love
you're
you.
shouting out today as we're finishing up here?
Yeah, our new cat Pearl.
There we go. Wellington and
Mhm.
Pearl, the way it should always be.
Yep.
So Welly and Pearl, yeah, I can't wait to come up and see her. She's a beautiful cat. So
Yeah,
can't
she
wait
is.
to see that. Who am I gonna shout out? I know maybe I don't have anything. Maybe I'm good just to chill out and relax and hang out and do our just do us, man. Have a good time. We have other stuff coming with other guests coming on soon, but
Mhm.
everything is good. You can find us online. We're on YouTube, Spotify,
Hit the smash.
iTunes. Hit the
Yep.
share, subscribe, send to your other Cowboys fans. We're here, baby. We're doing it. We're live. All right. Cowboys and coffee, talking Cowboys, sipping coffee, talking coffee. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.